Have you ever found yourself engaged in a behavior and then once you've realized it, you wonder, why am I doing this? Or perhaps you do things that you know are unhealthy for you, yet there's a part of you that seems persistent, that wants to continue engaging in that behavior. Do you ever wonder why it is you're doing that? Well, there's an answer to that. The reason why most of us engage in behaviors that are unhealthy for us is because some part of us in our subconscious mind finds that behavior to have some kind of benefit to us. Something that helps us to feel better in some way, shape, or form about ourselves, our lives, and what we're experiencing in our lives at that moment. Hi, my name is Tarek Sitar, and I'm the director of the Ontario Hypnosis Centre. Today, I'm hoping to help you understand a little bit more about the power of your subconscious mind and what you can do to use that power to help you improve your life. The subconscious mind controls everything you do that you never have to think about. For instance, your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion, all the bodily functions that are executed without your having to ever think about it are controlled by that part of your mind. Think about it. If you had to think about breathing every second of every day, or about digesting your food, or maybe about even how you walk, all of those actions that you execute without any need to think about it are controlled by your subconscious mind. You can observe how processes move from a conscious state of awareness into a subconscious state if you remember perhaps learning to tie your shoelaces. When you first did it, you had to think about it. Maybe you had a rhyme you used to help you figure out what to do. But after practicing it for a few times, it became just natural and you can tie your shoelaces without having to think about it. Or maybe driving a car. When you first learned how to drive, you would have to think about looking in the rearview mirror, or checking your blind spot, or changing gears if you didn't drive an automatic car. Anything that you had to do, you thought about it over and over again. You repeated it in your head until it became a part of how you drove. Until you got to the point now where you could talk with someone while driving and execute all of these functions without having to make any sort of conscious effort about it. Everything you have done in your life that you have practiced over and over again moves from the conscious part of your mind into the subconscious part, which takes care of pretty much everything you do on autopilot. In fact, over 90% of what you do every day is executed by the subconscious part of your mind. And here's something very interesting. When you are between the ages of 0 to 9 years old, the brain waves of your mind, I should say, are operating on what we call the theta frequency to begin with, then moving into an alpha frequency before it moves into what we know as our consciousness, our conscious state of awareness. In those states of mind, you are absorbing information from your environment. You're absorbing language, how to speak. And so in those first few years of your life, you can learn up to 3 languages at the same time. You're learning how to navigate the relationships in your environment. You're learning social conventions. You're basically learning how to live in a society with other people, how to interact with them. The interesting thing is, not only are you absorbing all that good stuff that helps you how to live life fully, but you're also absorbing some of the not so good stuff from your environment. And so if there were any difficulties growing up, if you moved a lot, or if there were any challenges in your childhood that you may have endured, those all become a part of your subconscious process that affect you for the rest of your life. It's not to say that we're all damaged in some way, shape, or form. We're not. The subconscious mind takes what the environment presents and uses that information to help create the best possible circumstances that you can then live your life in a way that keeps you safe and protected. Let me give you a brief overview of how the subconscious mind works. We use what's called the iceberg model of the mind. So if you think about it, you know the tip of the iceberg that's usually above the surface of the water is usually just the very, very tiny piece of what the actual iceberg is composed of. And if you think about it, that tip of the iceberg can be likened to the conscious part of your mind. And so, the rest of the iceberg, everything that's below the surface, is the subconscious. Everything you do without having to think about, from what we mentioned before, your bodily functions, to your patterns, and this is where it gets interesting. All the patterns you engage in, your behavioral patterns, your emotional patterns, your mental patterns, all of those are controlled by this part of your mind, the subconscious part of your mind, operating below the surface of your awareness. And these patterns also include things like your emotions that are unhealthy for you. Emotions such as anger or fear. It includes your behaviors that may be the most unhealthy for you, yet you persist in engaging in them, such as smoking, overeating, or maybe engaging in behaviors that keep you separate from those you love, behaviors that kind of put a wedge in your relationships. All of these things that you do to the subconscious part of the mind serves a positive function. Otherwise, you wouldn't engage in it. Think about it. If you know at every level of your being, consciously as well as subconsciously, that smoking was bad for you, it would harm your health, why would you do it? You wouldn't. So there is some part of you, somewhere here in that subconscious part of your mind, that has some benefit that's attributed to smoking. For instance, it could be that smoking helps you to relieve stress. The same can be said of eating, what you eat and how you eat. Certain foods convey to us a sense of gratification, a sense of love, or even just a sense of calm. It helps us to feel safe and secure in some way, shape, or form. All these behaviors, as you can see, have some benefit that helps you to keep that behavior as part of your lifestyle. With hypnosis, you can bypass this conscious part of your mind and move into the subconscious part where all of these patterns are stored. I know you may have some preconceived notions as to what hypnosis may be. You may have seen something on television, heard it on the radio, saw it in a movie. But just so you're aware, hypnosis is none of the above. Hypnosis is a process. It is a tool, a technique we use to help you move beyond this critical part of your mind, that critical part that's always telling you you can't do something, or that you're incapable, or you shouldn't do something. We move beyond that part of your mind into the subconscious where those patterns are stored. And once we access those patterns, we give you suggestions that are helpful and beneficial to you that change the patterns. And this is the most important point. Hypnosis cannot make you do anything that you do not want to do. Now that's both good and bad. The good part of it is we can't make you bark like a dog or take your bank account information or anything that you are afraid of that we may go into your mind and take from you. It's not possible. Your subconscious mind, as I mentioned, its primary function is to keep you safe, keep you protected. So anything that it perceives that is not in your best interest or that is against your values will not happen. The bad part of it is we can't snap our fingers and make you stop smoking or start eating healthily. But what we can do is help you find the power that's stored in the subconscious mind to change those patterns yourself. Once you can see where the behaviors are coming from, once you understand the benefit you're getting from those behaviors, all we do as clinical hypnotists is transfer that benefit to a different, a new, a healthy, positive behavior that gives you the same benefit but eliminates all the negatives that come with the bad behaviors that you are currently engaged in. Why not give it a shot? You can call us 416-489-0333 or visit our website, ontariohypnosiscenter.com. There's a lot of information on our website, but we like to speak with you face-to-face. So you can call us and book a free consult, come in and ask any questions you have on your subconscious mind and the power stored within, and how you can use hypnosis to access it to change your life for the better.